Hi YouTube, how are you? So this is my first live video. I'm not really a big fan of going live, but this is my first live video, y'all, and I'm so excited. Um, wow. Hi everybody out there. I'm so excited. So this is a site, a YouTube channel, and the name of it is E&J Talks. So this is just a forum where we talk about everything, you know. There's no subject that's off limits. We just talk about everything. Um, so if there's something that you would like for me to talk about, you can put it in the comments down below. And then when I get on again and do another live video, then we can talk about it. I do have to say that, I'm no psychologist and I don't have like psychology degrees and I'm no life coach and all that stuff. But I do feel like I have some things that I could share. Maybe they may be beneficial to you and maybe they won't. But that's okay. I'm just sharing some of my personal experiences and things that I may have witnessed in the past. And I just feel like, it may help someone out there. And I do have a sincere passion for working with young girls because I tend to find that a lot of young girls come to me for advice. They're always asking me, what should I do about this or what should I do about that? And because they just really don't know um, maybe they're just not being told and they really honestly don't know. So sometimes they fall into a lot of situations, not because they're just being stubborn and rebellious. They honestly really don't know. Um, so hopefully this forum will be able to help the young girls. It may be able to help the adults, men and women. I don't really have no barriers. I'm not for the men, I'm not for the women, or I'm not just for the young girls. This is just my channel to talk about any and everything. Um, just to discuss how you may be feeling because I know personally a lot of times in my own personal life I deal with a lot of things that are very secretly that I'm not able to share, or I feel like if I share them I may be looked at this way or that way, and sometimes it can make us feel embarrassed, because it's like, whoa, people are looking at you like, you really dealing with that? Yeah, I'm really dealing with that. So it kind of makes us back up and tends to keep us hidden. And when you keep a lot of things inside, they tend to eat at you because you're just not expressing them. And so I want this channel to be a channel where you can express how you feel, um, just maybe what's going on during the week, and maybe you feel like you just can't share with nobody else. I'm here to listen, I'm here to talk about it. Again, I am not a psychologist or a life coach or anything of that sort. What advice I do give you, it is strictly from my personal experience or just personalized advice. It has nothing to do with what I've studied or anything of that sort. So um, please don't take, any advice from here and say, oh, she told me to do this and do that, and you find yourself in a situation. Please take what advice that you think would be beneficial to you, and what you feel that is not, then don't take it. It's not a form where you have to listen to me or accept what I'm saying at all. But I do feel like there's somebody out there who will hear what I'm saying and have it, and may be able to um, share, and they may be able to say, hey, I have the same experiences that you had. So This is ENJ Talks, and welcome. And so I'm so excited. Oh man. So I'm just gonna get right into it so I don't like waste you guys' time, and I don't want to be on here a long time. I'm not really a longevity type of talker. So I kind of just get in there and get to the point and like move it right along. Okay. So the topic of this ENJ, the subject of this tonight is, do I build first or do I marry first? And I know it's, you look at that and you're like, hey, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Well, a lot of times I've seen, and I had a situation where a young lady came to me at work, and she's about maybe 18, I think between 18 and 21, I want to say. And she was having her first baby, and she came to me and she says, hey, I'm living with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend asked me we should get a house together. And I asked her, I said, were you guys married? And when she evidently not married, because she said boyfriend. So she says, I don't really know what to do because, I don't feel like we're really ready to make that type of transition. And so, from that conversation, I realized that a lot of young girls are not understanding who they are, and one, valuing who they are, and so that led me to kind of do this ENJ Talks, because what I find is a lot on social media, people are putting life events up like they're getting married, and then the next one will be, no, the first life event will be, I got engaged. And then the second life event will be, I'm pregnant. And then the third life event will be, I'm getting married. So I say that to say that a lot of people are building the lives, like they're building the home, they're building the family, and everything without the marriage. I know somebody would beg to differ with me and say, well, everybody's different. I agree wholeheartedly. This is not a judgment channel at all. So I agree, everybody's different. Everybody do it differently. However, if you are a practicing Christian, then there are guidelines that the Bible speaks about. Now, however, if you're not a practicing Christian, then, you're not really kind of, I want to say, liable, because you're not really like trying to practice the biblical method per se. But for me personally, I would like to be married first and then build a family, because one, it's the right thing to do. Two, I'm a practicing Christian, so that's biblical and guidelines for me. That's what I have to abide by. So that's personally for me. Now, somebody else may say, well, I don't agree with that. I got to get to know a person. I got to know if they're for me, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So personally, I don't feel like getting to know a person and dating a person. Or no, let me back that up. So getting to know a person and preparing for marriage is totally different. So some people say, well, I'm getting to know this person, it's been 3 years. So say, they proposed 3 years ago, and Now it's 3 years later and we're still at an engagement area because their thing is, or the male is saying, I'm still getting to know her. I'm not really sure if I want to marry her. Well, my question to that is, if you're not sure about marriage, then there's no need to put any type of jewelry on the finger if you're not sure. You know what I mean? Um, when you're sure about something, you're certain. You know, there's no apprehension. There's no, I'm confident, I'm stable in my decision. And so a lot of times, um, guys are proposing to women and they're like, hey, I want to marry you. And the girl's all excited. She's falling out and crying, you know, all that good stuff. And, and then, so like, oh, I'm getting married. They got the ring, you know, they're showing it to the mom, dad, girlfriends. Oh, you know, she's ready. She's excited. She starts planning right away because in her mind, she's like, I need to start getting things together. But in his mind, he may have a totally different agenda. So you may be ready to walk down that aisle like right in the next, I want to say 6 maybe to 8 months. And he may be thinking, well, you're this beautiful girl. You know, I'm just proposing to you to kind of keep you off the market so nobody else may become interested. So you guys already are not even on the same plane when you guys are thinking, when he's proposing and you're thinking, you know, you're ready to get married. And he's like, no, it's going to be in the next 2 or 3 years. I'm not really trying to do that at this very moment. So you guys are not even together at this point. Everything's off center at this point because you're thinking something totally different. He's thinking something totally different. So in this young lady's mind, she's thinking, oh, you know, I'm getting ready to plan for this wedding. She's telling everybody, trying to find a planner. She's asking him, can we set a date? And she brings it up. She brings it up several times. Maybe 2 or 3 months go by, nothing. Then she kind of, you know, leaves the subject alone. And she may come back and say, hey, can we, you know, get a date together so I can, you know, give it to my family and friends so they can prepare. Well, babe, you know, I'm just trying to get things together financially so we'll be ready. We'll be together. You know, it's a lot of things, you know. And so she leaves it alone. Then she comes back the next year. She revisits the conversation. So now we've been a year now. We don't have a date. So we've been a year. And so now she's asking for a date again. Now he has some other, you know, information of why it can't be done. You know, it's just not the right time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? But yet, now, he's giving you all these reasons why we can't set a date, but yet he comes to you and says, hey, babe, you know, I've been thinking, why don't we go out and look for homes? And in your mind, you're like, oh, you know, he ready. He ready. He didn't have, we about to purchase a home. He asking, let's go look at homes. He ready. You excited again? Okay. So, you know, you get all excited. You guys go out look at homes. You find one. You do the paperwork, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do all this stuff. You get approved for the home. You guys move in together. Beautiful home, right? But you still ain't walked down that aisle yet. So then you probably revisit the conversation again. Like, babe, we done moved into this home. I mean, when we gonna set a date? Like, I'm ready to get married. Well, babe, you know, we got this high mortgage. Like, we just don't have enough finances to save up to do that right now. Okay. But we on this deed together. Okay. So So then it just keeps going and just keeps going. And then at this point, you begin to realize that it's not happening, okay? And that we've got a home together. We might have been financed for a car together. But what I really desired from the initial beginning was marriage. So I really never desired to get a car with you. I really never initially desired to get a home with you. I was excited about the marriage first. But what he did was he reverted your mind away from a date of marriage, to a set date of marriage, to making you believe that, okay, honey, let's go look at homes, or let's go get finance for a car, to make you believe that these are intentions based to get married, but they're not. And so what happens is, a lot of times ladies are falling, 2 and 3 years, and they're not married. They don't understand why. This man won't marry me. I don't get it. And so it just becomes, the woman gets frustrated. And so she realizes at some point, like, hey, this is not going to happen, excuse me. So you just realize this is not going to happen. So I say that to say that I see a lot of people doing that. And now some people do it and they do end up getting married. And then a lot of people do it and marriage never comes out of it. It's just a long-term relationship. And that's it. And there's nothing else out of it. So I just feel like our young girls and even adult women, sometimes we need to just wake up, Don't be so gullible. I know, we're all vulnerable in our own little special way. Everybody has some type of vulnerability. We do. And it's normal. It's okay. Because it's just called life. It's just called being human. But sometimes our emotions can get the best of us because we just want somebody to be there. We're not really concerned if you have A, B, C, or D. We just want you to be here. We want your physical presence to be here. So I say that to say that personally, I would like to get married first and do it the biblical way. Okay? So I want to go to Proverbs 18 and 22. Okay? So in this verse, it says, whoso findeth a wife, okay, findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord. Okay, so in this scripture, there are two things that come out of this scripture when a man finds a wife. One, he finds a good thing. Two, he obtaineth favor, meaning that he didn't have favor. Because if you're obtaining something, it means that you're giving it to me. Okay? So he's obtaining favor of the Lord. So technically, when a man finds a wife, whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So it didn't say whoso findeth a bae or a boo or a significant other or my lady friend or my side chick or my girlfriend. He said whoso findeth a wife. Because when he finds her, she's already a wife. And she's good. You got to make her good. Because he said, whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. She's already good. So you don't have to make her good. She's not bad. She's a wife. and obtaineth favor of the Lord. Meaning that this woman is carrying favor on her life. So now that this man has found her, now he has favor. Okay? And sometimes that is why sometimes you be with certain people. Like, I can only talk about myself. Okay, let me just give you my own personal experience. So I was back in my 20s, like maybe 26, 27. I was dating this guy, and he was like maybe 10, 13 years older than me at the time. And he was very stable, very good guy. Um, and I had a very good job, making a very decent money at that time. And he was making very decent money. And we needed another car. Okay, we needed another vehicle. And so he said, well, hey, he said, hey, let's go to the dealership and try to get finance for a car, you know. So I'm like, okay, cool, you know, let's go. Let's go. And so we went to several. I mean, when I tell you, we went to several dealerships. This past 10, we went to a lot. And everybody told us no. Okay? And it was just, no, we can't help you. And I couldn't understand that. I was just like, Lord, what is this? Like, we have the income, we have the credit, we can't get finance for a car together. Like, and we're going on this agreement together. I couldn't understand why they were telling us no. Well, long story short, something happened with the relationship. And we separated. So he went his way, and I kind of stayed behind. And I went my way. At this point, I didn't have a vehicle still, so he took his vehicle that he had, and I was left renting a car. And so I remember going to work, and this guy told me, say, listen, I know this guy at this dealership, go by and see him, he'll get you in a car. So, I'm skeptical because of all these failed, no's, like, we can't do it. So I'm like, I don't really want to go because I don't feel like hearing this again. But I went. And when I went, I was able to get a brand new car off the showroom floor that had 4 miles on it with my income alone. So out of that situation, God told me, he said, listen, he said, now for you, this may not apply to anybody else, but this is what he told me. I can't speak for nobody else. But this is what he told me. He said, listen, you have to do it the right way, okay? For you, daughter, it must be right. So you can't shack. You can't do none of that. You can't get married. I mean, not get married, but you can't shack and think, I'm going to open up the windows of heaven and just pour out all this blessing on you. It ain't happening. Because you was doing it wrong. I wasn't a wife. I was just a girlfriend to him, okay? But I wanted all this stuff to happen for us. But I was like, no. So in that moment, I realized that I wasn't a wife. So he didn't have favor because we were not married. And so that's why we were getting told no. When he left and I stayed and I went my way and went to that dealership by myself, I was immediately told a yes because I have favor. Because the wife already has favor. Do you see what I'm saying? So I already had favor. He had to obtain favor. But obtaining favor is based on you becoming a wife. Right? So we couldn't get that car together because I wasn't a wife. So that's kind of how that went down. And so I realized that a lot of things in my own personal life right now that I've received, homes and cars and things of that sort, is because I do have favor on my life. God has blessed me to have favor, and I'm grateful. It's not anything to show off or anything or to brag about, but I am grateful. But I know that I can't have anybody come in my home and I shack up with them, because God is not going to bless that. Not for me. Not for me personally. He's not going to do that, because that's not what he designed for my life. I'm not personally telling you what to do. I'm telling you that's what he told me. Now, it may help you. Great. But I'm not telling you like, oh, hey, come out, do what you're doing and do it. No, I'm not telling you that at all. I'm telling you that from my own personal experience, this is what he told me. So, we have to understand that, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. And he obtains favor of the Lord. She's already good. She's already a wife. You don't have to make her good. She's already a wife, and she's good. And she's going to help you obtain favor of the Lord. So that's why God designed marriages. Okay? He designed it for a purpose. And sometimes, we feel like this long-term longevity dating thing, 3-year, 4 and 5-year engagements, it's just a mess. It ain't even real to me. Like, that's just a mess. You have no intentions of marrying anybody. That's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I said it, and I may get backlash for it, and it's okay, because I can take it. But it's ridiculous. Because God never really, in my book, really never designed dating. And I'm just keeping it real, because when he says, whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing, well, if she already your wife, you ain't got to get to know her, because you already know her, because she's your wife. All right? Right. So if somebody's your wife, you don't need to date them for 3 years to find out, like, do I need to get along with this person? Because you're going to know, because she's your wife. So I think people use the fact that I'm sorry, I'm going to have to come back and do this live feed. I do apologize. I do have to step out for a brief moment. It's an emergency. And I will be back to do this live feed. Please excuse me, but I will be right back. Thank you so much for watching, so much for what you've heard thus far, but I will be back to complete this live video. Thank you so much.